Hello, how are you today? I hope you're well. I hope you're happy. I hope it's been a beautiful day so far. Shall we get some cards and have a reading? I feel like you could do with a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a clarity, a little bit of just a direction, whatever comes. Very drawn to these two with just kind of sticking out the side. So we've got the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Swords. So perhaps a little bit head and heart play here, but also overthinking a little bit, over processing things. Give your brain a rest, because this one wants to jump out too. 10 of Cups. Beautiful. Rainbow after the storm. Like everything will be okay. You just shift it out of your head. Head's busy. Head's really busy, and perhaps there's a little bit of tiptoeing around that's going on, that you're not sure of which way you're going to take this, or it might be to do with someone else, but you're not quite sure where you sit, so you're kind of processing what you did, or not what you didn't even do. I don't even feel like you did anything, but like your mind is very busy. It's just processing. So I really want to just calm it down and just know that there is a brighter horizon coming for you. The Emperor, my mind just, I was looking at his face. His beard really got me, actually. The beard in tarot is wisdom. It is just this, just this knowledge. You know what you need to do. You know where you're at. You know what, really trust yourself, because to me this is, when he shows up, it's making a bit of a plan for you to, move yourself forward. It's having a bit of structure. You don't sit well in vulnerability, and vulnerability can be really hard, So if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable, a little bit in your head, a little bit over everything, not feeling like you're being heard, being seen, that can be really, really hard, because everyone's busy. Everybody's so busy being busy that they don't actually stop and when someone's talking, you're doing something else. It's really important that you are able to stop and pay attention to how someone is actually feeling. There's just been a clump fall out, and the two of that clump had actually kind of flicked sideways before, and I saw them and pushed them in and thought, if they're going to come out, they'll come out again. If you're new to tarot and just learning your way, when you're shuffling, if something jumps out, it wants to get your attention. So like if you're in here having a reading with me in person and you're shuffling my cards and something jumps out, I look at it, like I take notice of it and put it back in the deck. And then, as the cards come out on the table, if that card comes out, I really look at what significance it has, because A, it got my attention, B, it's out again. So, be really mindful of jumping cards, because they are trying to get your attention. So the first two that jumped, the Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is, a bit of a pause, the rug being pulled out from underneath you. It sort of feels a little bit heavy. The other two are the Seven of Cups and Justice. You wouldn't think I've been doing tarot forever, would you? And I can't even look at that and go the 8 when I know it's not the 8. So, a little bit emotionally up in the air, wanting some truth, wanting, just wanting to be seen, heard and felt, to be honest, and actually not kind of pushed to the side and ignored, or told something that you feel needs to be said, or they feel needs to be said, like people pleasing. I feel like there's a bit of people pleasing going on around here. So I feel in this scenario, I feel like this could be with your significant other. I also feel that it could be a friendship that is sort of a bit wobbly, or, someone has spoken their truth and the other person hasn't liked it. And whatever scenario that is in, it could be work, it could be, work colleagues, it could be family scenarios, relationship scenarios, whatever it is. In this instance, I feel like someone has actually sat there and this is what this is how I feel, this is what I'm, what I want to do, and the person that's heard it hasn't liked it, and it's caused this eruption to happen with the Tower sitting here. Like every Tower card has a blessing that comes on the other side of it, because the Tower is a card of change, it's sudden change. It is a card that shows that, potentially there was warning signs, but you didn't take any notice. So Spirit go about shifting and changing that for you. And when that happens, it can feel really, really vulnerable. It can feel like your whole world is falling apart. But in falling apart, it's actually creating something more beautiful. So, if you're in that space where that's what you're feeling, you're okay. It will be okay, because it's just Spirit have put you back where you should be rather than where you're not, and they've aligned you back into your soul's purpose and onto your path, where before you were playing in someone else's playgrounds, to make it easy for you to understand. So, if friendships have fallen, if family scenarios have fallen a bit, or whatever's happening there, allow it to just happen. Just sit in it. Don't overreact. Don't try and work it out. It will kind of evolve and show its way forward eventually. It is, I don't want to say it is what it is, but it actually needs to happen to bring forward your happiness and your joy and your, your bounce in your step again, because I feel like you've kind of lost your way in amongst all of that. That's way too many cards to all come out at once. So I know that there's a feeling of sadness and a feeling of loss in there as well. And that, that can be hard as well. So it is very, very tough time at the moment for you. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. The Knight of Wands has just come out of mine. Got a mind blank today. The Knight of Wands has come out, and he is very much this spontaneous energy. Like, don't sit there and just feel the victim or feel woe is me. Actually get up and go, okay, let's pivot, let's change, let's move. He is that card. It is a card to your energy is ready to move on to whatever comes next. You are a strong person. I know you are. You are capable of anything, and your journey is just taking a bit of a left turn instead of a right turn. And in that left turn, it's probably a space you never thought you'd be in, but it's okay. One more jump down. Okay. Nine of Swords. So feeling betrayed, feeling a bit stabbed in the back, feeling a bit overwhelmed mentally, and potentially not sleeping very well. Give yourself a break. I want to just, give you a big hug and actually go, I want you to just breathe. Everything will work itself out. Beautiful. The Ace of Pentacles has just popped. So this is the blessing after the storm. Just tread water, keep treading water, just be really open and honest about your feelings and how you feel. Don't push anything under the radar. Yeah, I'm stressed today. Why are you stressed? You kind of desensitize. Well, just get it out of yourself. Declutter your mind. Perhaps write down a little bit of, why do you feel stressed today? What's your main trigger? What's triggering you to do, what is the core reason? And if you can find the core reason to why you're stressed, you can actually go, okay, I can fix that. It's just this state of overwhelm that has come in, that I just want you to settle that down. Just really calm it down. A beautiful thing to do is to put your hand on your heart and just sort of say to yourself, I will protect you. I will always protect you. I will always look after you. I will always love you. I will always keep you safe. I will always make the right decisions that are, that are right for us. I will always nourish you and feed you and, just give you everything you need. Talk to yourself. confirm to yourself that you've got this, you know. We are strong. I will always, you know, allow that strength to shine. Just really sit in that space of connecting to yourself, because internally, you know, we all have this small inner child that when something happens in our adult life, it pretty much triggers something that happened in our childhood. And if you can bring the two together beautifully, it's just this beautiful dance that in reassuring that inner child, you're actually reassuring the big girl as well, or the big boy, and you're able to move yourself forward. So, you know, life can be wobbly. We have wobbly bits in our life. And as you move through those wobbly bits, it defines you. It makes you a better person. So with the ace being the last card to jump out, absolutely, you know, this is that beautiful blessing that's coming after such a hard time. And, you know, a lot of the time with the Tower, it's purely because we've just sat there for a little bit too long. And, please excuse me, and Spirit have just gone, okay, time's up, it's time to move, let's go. And they, you know, bang, you're over there. We've all experienced it, you know, like I've experienced it. I kind of welcome it now. If I'm doing the wrong thing, if I'm not sitting in my life how I'm supposed to for my own personal growth and my spiritual growth, I allow Spirit to shift me, put me where I need to be, move me where I need to go. And, you know, as you have an acceptance of that and you sit more freely in your life, you get to a point where you just flow, and Spirit don't have to do these massive, you know, big pulls. I had the same experience. It's not easy, you know, but when you know, you know. And when you know, Spirit just go, come on, we're going to give you a nudge, and they nudge and they nudge. And then when you're not paying attention, they push really hard, and it changes everything. So where you might feel vulnerable and wobbly now, it's going to be a beautiful time of your life. Okay, trust the process, trust the journey, trust where you're at. And, you know, it's just going to be a very powerful soul growth. You know, the path forward is there, but you don't need to see it or know it or anything like that. You know, just allow it to be whatever it needs to be. Okay. All right. I am just going to, pull an oracle card, and this is from, I'll get the book, the Sacred Power reading cards. It's a bit hard. They're by Anna Stark. Beautiful cards. I've got a few of her decks. I really love them. It is beautiful. If you're not a tarot, you know, if you're trying to learn tarot, and it's very, very hard. You know, I mean, I studied for 18 months when I learned tarot. So, and what I teach tarot is a big 12-month course. So, you know, don't stress if tarot isn't clicking. Go and get yourself a deck of oracle cards. You know, like oracle cards are beautiful, gentle, inspirational cards that will be connected to you, and you know, they'll resonate just as well as what tarot will. Unless you're willing to learn tarot, you know, like put them to the side for a little bit, because there's some ugly cards in the tarot, and they can, you know, come out. If you're going, you know, picking a daily card and you get the Tower, that's not, you know, it just puts your energy down. But, you know, what this really is divine intervention. But if you get it in a, you know, a different card that looks more beautiful, well, it's more accepting. So push the tarot to the side just for a little bit, unless you're learning. Moving forward, I will put some explanations and stuff. We'll sort of start to learn the tarot together. But in the meantime, I've already got one card come out. Let's get some more. I just want, there we go. Thank you, Spirit. Okie doke. Two cards are really stuck together. The first one that jumped out is freedom. Look at that. Sorry about the glare there. Let's turn it that way a little bit. freedom. Look at the black, the white. They're just, it's the yin and the yang, you know. Look at the path. The path is winding. It's not straight. You're allowed to, you know, it's just different aspects of you. Shadow, light. We've all got to have this side to be able to strive in this side. You know, my biggest adversities in my life actually have allowed me to sit and do what I do. So if you're going through something, it's got a powerful meaning, you know, it's got a powerful blessing. So allow yourself to navigate through the dark and come out in the light. We have angelic assistance. Beautiful. So the angels are all around you. I used to work, when I was going through all my stuff, I worked with Archangel Michael, you know, and he was actually who prompted me to buy my first tarot deck, because I went to, this is years and years and years, decades ago, I went to a spiritual shop and there was a deck of cards on the counter, and she said, oh, you know, like you can have a shuffle and pull a card. And I shuffled and pulled Archangel Michael out of the deck. And it just was like, okay, I've got to take that deck home. And that's what started my tarot journey. But it was in the midst of everything that was so heavy and so hard, you know, that I never thought it would be where I'm sitting today, but it is. So just be gentle with yourself. You're a work in progress. So just know that the beautiful angels are around. Your beautiful spirit family are around as well. I'm really very, very drawn to the masculine energy within the spiritual world, you know, like up in heaven, if you want to, for a better word. All the dads, all the granddads, the brothers, the partners, the husbands, the boyfriends, the boys, the children, but the masculine side of things. So if you have the beautiful loved one up there in heaven that is, you know, in that beautiful realm of the masculinity, they're all very, very near and dear to you. They're very close as well, okay? I can just feel like there's lots of hands on shoulders and hands on backs, just rubbing your back, but pushing you in the right direction. So just talk to them, okay? A beautiful card. Just give it to the angels. The last one is energy balance. So this is a little bit about what we've been talking about. You know, we have chakras. And when the head and the heart are very busy, everything comes out of balance. So if you can find your balance, you know, if again, the yin and the yang, just breathe, connect, put your feet on the ground, trust where you're at, get out of your head, you know, hand on heart, and just try and calm that all down. All these beautiful energy centers will come back into alignment and you'll be able to navigate your way forward through the day. But you know, at the moment, you're just a little work in progress. So don't be harsh on yourself. Don't be reactive to other people, you know, like if you have loved ones around you and that you're snapping their heads off or whatever's happening, try and calm that down, because they're not the problem, you know, like you're not the problem either. It's what's happening around you. It's your insecurities, your vulnerabilities. So the more you can ground by shoes off, hand on heart, walk around your backyard, you know, go sit and have a cup of tea in a park somewhere, or go down the beach and walk in the sand and put your feet in the earth, or up into the hills, or, you know, just do something that will help you bring your energy down again, and you're going to be fantastic. You know, like, who knows, in a few years' time you can be just doing something completely different and be so grateful for what you've been through, okay? I'm going to send you my love, and I'm going to leave it there. I will send healing out to everybody today, because I do feel like there's a lot of very tired people out in the collective, so I will send that out today. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, I do have a Facebook page called The Spiritual Alchemist, or C. Yarwood, The Spiritual Alchemist and Tarot Specialist. You know, just for inspiration. I try and post on there just to allow people to be inspired every day. So you know where I am. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.